Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to the Q4 and FY'24 conference call of RattanIndia Power Limited. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode. There will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during this conference, please signal an operator by pressing star and then 0 on your touchtone phone. This conference call may contain forward-looking statements about the company, which are based on the beliefs, opinions, and expectations of the company as on the date of this call. The statements are not guarantee of future performance and involve risks and uncertainties that are difficult to predict. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Simranjeet Singh from Almond Global. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you, Darwin. Good evening, all. On behalf of Almonds, we welcome you all to the RattanIndia Power Limited full year and Q4 FY'24 conference call. We are joined today by the senior management of RattanIndia Power, represented by Mr. Rajiv Rattan, Executive Chairman, Mr. Himanshu Mathur, Executive Director and President, Mr. Manish Chitnis, CFO, and Mr. Amit Jain, Deputy CFO. We will now start with the opening remarks by the management, followed by the Q&A. I would now like to hand over this call to Mr. Rajiv Rattan for his brief opening remarks. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, everyone. This is Rajiv Rattan, and good afternoon. I would just like to summarize for everybody's benefit the story of our power plant, so that you have the full historical background. Of course, the last quarterly release you would have seen, so I would not like to go too much into the numbers or the facts which are already there. So this is a 1350 megawatt power plant in Amravati that we are talking about. It was envisaged in about 2007. We started work around 2008. We brought first and second unit into operation in 2013. The remaining 3 units were commissioned in 2015. March 2015, the entire plant was commissioned. These are BHEL units, 217 to 5. When finishing the 3 units, we created a national record of bringing 3 units within 42 days of each other, which had not happened in the country before. Our plant boasts of contractors which are amongst the best. Our contractors used to tell us that they've not seen the best of the best. So many of them working at one site. Usually, the plant has about 109 packages which were awarded to different people. So usually, they would say that you would have like 3 or 4 top-notch contractors, but on our site, everybody from the power industry who was a top-notch person was there. So right from Siemens to Alstom to L&T to you name it, everybody was there at the site working for us. So we had focused on extremely high quality, and it was built with full passion and belief that we need to put in the best quality equipment there. And that was a lot of hard work done by all of us at RattanIndia Power, including the site team. Now, this plant has full PPA and full FSA. So, fuel supply agreement from Coal India is the FSA. This also had a second phase, which was another 1350 megawatts, for which order was placed on BHEL. And it also had full coal linkage there. It had environment clearance for the second phase. We have water allocation for the second phase, and plot plan was made in such a way that we can expand. Second phase was stopped after having spent some money there because phase one went into stress. Now, reasons for stress, even though it had full PP and FSA. It was because at that time coal linkage was not sufficient. When I say coal coming under the linkage was not being given up to the amount that the linkage was for. So if we had a contract of, let's say, 100 tons with Coal India, so they would only supply like 65 or 70. So there was a shortfall there. That shortfall, in June 13, central government had given out a circular that should be passed through to the DISCOM by substituting the shortfall by imported coal. That did not happen. So we ended up importing coal and not getting paid by the DISCOM. And then eventually that case had to be fought till the Supreme Court, and which has eventually been decided in our favor. But our working capital got jammed in those coal imports, and that's why the plant went into stress. At that time, we did a deal that was in 2018-19, over 18 months' time. The deal was done with Indian banks, whereby they were taken out using monies coming in from foreign credit funds led by Goldman Sachs and Varde Partners and 5 others. And that was about 3,000 crore deal of fresh money coming in, and Indian banks got paid off. At the same time, Indian banks and the incoming investors got 15% equity each. Fresh shares were issued at that time. And after that, so come Jan 2020, debt stack was restructured. And since then, the plant has been a great performing plant. On the operation side, the plant has been a very well performing plant from 2000, ever since it was commissioned in 2015. So our EBITDA, if you see, has been stable around 1,000 crores plus since 2015 till 2023 to 2024 now. So it has been 1,000 crore plus EBITDA plant. What was required to be done was only correcting the debt side, which was done in 2020. From 2020 till mid of last year, in 3.5 years, we had paid off more than 3,500 crores of principal and interest to the group led by Varde Partners, and the balance was refinanced from Kotak Bank and funds. We had taken about 1,125 crores from Kotak in June of 23. That balance stands at like 522 crores as of March 31st, 2024. And we hope to pay off Kotak in current financial year. And so basically that's the broad history of the plant. We are proud to be in the industry, which is like providing very, very important infrastructure to the country. Power, is required by each one of us 24 hours a day. It's not like a road where you use it when you are on the road, or an airport when you are at the airport. This is something that you need 24 hours a day. And power demand, you can see, is only going up and up, which was obviously there. But, what had happened was that in the rush of private players coming into power sector, there was a bit of excess capacity, which has all been absorbed right now. And the country is basically operating at almost full capacity is being used right now. And that is why government is talking about adding more thermal plants, which was basically nobody was talking about addition of thermal plants in the past. In India, coal provides the baseload power. It is something which is likely to continue over next foreseeable future, maybe another 20-30 years, I would say at least. unless some real solution is found out about base load power, we don't have much of gas. And renewables, is intermittent. And we provide a sentence in our earnings update. So even last year, only 13% of the generation in the country was from renewables, even though as a percentage of installed capacity, that number might be higher. But sometimes we start thinking that renewables is like going to displace thermal, but that's not the case. So we are in Maharashtra. It's the largest power-consuming state in the country. It is the largest economy by size, and we have this fantastic asset. So with this, I would just like to pause here, and then we go over to next step. That's it from my side for now.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to withdraw yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to please use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question is from the line of Hiral Nandu from Kalpavruksha Capital. Please go ahead.
Congratulations for the great set of numbers, and heartiest congratulations for a great turnaround, which was due for quite a long time. All goes to the efforts of the management and the team. Couple of questions from my side. Just wanted to understand, with now we have left with the Amravati plant, which is 1350 megawatts. What can be the peak revenue with this plant we can do, and what could be the EBITDA at the peak level we can achieve in this?
The question that I understood is that peak revenue and peak EBITDA. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So, ours is almost like 90% contracted plant under PPA. So our revenue can be plotted, and we have been operating at like last year was 82%, 83% PLF. So we started the merchant of about 28 megawatts. That is something that we are looking at expanding. That we could expand by up to, let's say, 100 megawatts. So, we are pretty much operating near the peak, not at the peak, but near the peak. So, this is basically what you are seeing is, when you have full PPA, there's not much flexibility around the numbers. So, yes, this is where we are. But at the same time, what I would like to highlight is that there is a good amount of regulatory receivables which have accumulated from the example that I gave, that you have to fight for anything over and above the base energy charge. So that is something which is significant, and that keeps getting realized in lumps here and there, and in future also that money will surely come, and for us that number is well north of almost 2,500 crores plus. So that money will also come, so that will only add to the cash flows.
Super. So this definitely it can't be any specific timeline, but any tentative timeline which you feel that this 2,700 crore odd we can receive over a period of say 1 year or whatever.
It's very difficult to put a time around the court process, but we hope to realize it over next 3-4 years.
Okay, great. And second question is on the debt. What the balance debt of 522 crore is there, or the long-term debt, that we look to pay maybe by H1 of this year. So what could be the total interest saving vis-a-vis the last year interest cost, which we paid around 560, 570 odd crores? Suppose this repayment, what we have done during the previous year, March 24, and maybe whatever balance we make a payment. So what could be approximate interest cost saving we see in the current year or the going forward with this payment?
So that would be in the range of, we can work out the exact numbers, but around 500 crores that I think our cost is about 16%. So you can work out the math there.
Okay. Current debt was at 16%, and the previous debt was at around?
It was a bundled cost which was slightly higher than this, and it was 2-3 different components which add up, and a portion of that component is still left, which was a junior debt, so which is junior to the current Kotak loan. So then that will also get paid off.
Okay. And that will be a balance short-term debt we will left with, right, post this payment. What could be the approximate number of that debt, and what could be the rate of interest on that? Maybe working capital or short-term, whatever debt we will have.
It's all there in our balance sheet. You can see it there, but there is the portion of the Varde and gang, which is housed in Aditya Birla ARC. So there is a portion left there, which is at a kind of 20% rate. So that is junior to the Kotak debt. So after the Kotak debt, that needs to be paid off.
Okay. Perfect. And we'll prioritize that also once this Kotak is paid, right?
Yes.
Even the additional HM. Good. Just last question. Some light on your vision on the solar and renewable business in future.
Sorry, I could not hear properly what you can say.
So, if you can put some light on renewable and the solar business, which we plan to do it in future. So, just some vision on that. I heard your interview also on the news channel. So, just want to understand more on that.
Okay. Yes. So we are fully focused on we are strategizing for the future, and in that future, two options are always there for us. One is capacity expansion at Amravati, and which is thermal, and second is renewable. So we are going to do maybe one of those or maybe both of those. So that is something that we will formalize during this coming months while we pay off our debt, and then we'll be free to pursue these expansion plans. But yes, these are things which are where we are fully skilled at. Renewables as a business we had in the group. RattanIndia Solar was a business which my wife actually ran successfully, and then sold the plants to GIP, who then in turn sold it to Semcorp. So the plants are with Semcorp. They also were reputed to be one of the best built plants in the country. So we have the experience for running renewables and of course thermal. So we will be coming out with concrete plan in the near future.
Great. Congratulations once again and all the best. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question comes from the line of Kamal, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, Rajiv. Thanks for taking my question. My question is, we have in Amravati more than 1,000 acres of land, and I think we have some agreement with the RattanIndia enterprise. Or how we are utilizing that land?
As of now, nothing much has happened there. But yes, in future, we are looking at various possibilities, including data centers. because we have power, we have water, plus there could be some other industries which might need that sort of space and have power requirement. And the locational advantage of our site is that it is, while being connected to the rail, obviously, because it receives daily almost 5 rakes full of coal. It is also located on a national highway, and which is the Mumbai-Nagpur highway. And it is in almost a geographic center of the country. Geographic center of the country is Nagpur, but we are very close to that place. So as India is expanding, there is a requirement of various kinds of infrastructure in center of the country. So we are well positioned to be providing the serviced land parcel with full power and water if anybody needs. So it's something which is very valuable, and we look forward to putting that to commercial use in coming times.
Okay. The second question is related to we have some receivable from Maharashtra Electricity Board, I think 1,400 crore after Supreme Court order, and might be Rattan Power already received near about 50%. So whether we are receiving those on quarterly basis or on any ad hoc basis, or if there is any schedule that we are receiving from Maharashtra Electricity Board?
So that is the regulatory receivable I talked about. So these come in chunks and lumps, so there is no set timeline around it. But yeah, we have been receiving these in the past, and we hope to continue to receive them in the future. And also, so we need to understand that worst is over, and bulk of the issues which were leading to this litigation on various counts have already been decided by Honorable Supreme Court, and in some case or the other. So typically earlier what used to happen is that wherever DISCOM wants to delay payments or wherever they think that something can be litigated beyond their basic energy bill, they would put that in the litigation loop, because they know that litigation loop is like 5 to 7 years time. Now that 5 to 7 years time is coming to an end, because most of the cases are either at appellate or Supreme Court. So and the law and the people are seeing that almost 95% of them are getting decided in the favor of the IPPs, because these were all genuine claims. These were not like frivolous claims. So the problem which had happened was that DISCOMs were not seeing private players. They had not seen a private generator across the table as a supplier to them for decades. I mean, all they were used to dealing with was like a state GENCO or NTPC. So now comes a private guy, so they're not used to that private guy. So the whole attitude of used to be that just deny every claim of theirs. Now that also has changed, because one, they've realized that they are losing the cases, and they are having to pay interest on that of 5 to 7 years. So it is not really helping them. And third, now private generators are more than a decade old in the system. So they are no longer new. They are being considered as a very, very important part of the power ecosystem. So, right now the litigations going forward will be far and few, and the old issues are getting sorted. So that is why I say that the worst part of that entire cycle is behind us.
Okay. Sir, how much approximately how much crores are pending with the Maharashtra Electricity Board? As per my calculation, it's more than 600 to 800.
Sorry, our regulatory receivables, as I said, is about 2,000 crores.
Okay. And
But to be clear, whatever is our regular energy bill, we get it on time, and especially for past few months, we get it exactly on the due date. So, so that money is not delayed anymore. So they have become more efficient at paying. Otherwise, earlier the base energy bill also used to get delayed. That is not happening. So we are seeing more financial discipline across the sector by all players. So which is a great healthy sign. So whatever is our base energy bill, we get it on the due date for sure.
Okay. Sir, recently we have started merchant power, which is near about 35 to 50 megawatt. So, what's the scope here? Like it will be improved other side and with the pricing also, or how to be?
Yeah, this is a new development since January, and here we are sourcing coal from different options given by Coal India subsidiaries, where they organize these auctions which are outside the linkage system. So we are procuring coal from there and then selling the power on exchange for the hours that our generation cost is lower than the price we get. And so far it has been a good experience. So it is a function of the exchange prices which continue to remain healthy because of the sort of shortage situation that as a country we are in. So this is adding to our bottom line.
Okay. Sir, the last one is related to Sinnar power plant, where we are operation credit of near about 2,000. And as per my understanding from REC Concall, there is a haircut of 20%. So how much we are thinking that we will receive from that 2,000 crore?
So Sinnar as a project is in NCLT now, and that is I cannot really comment because that is a judicial process. All I can say is that there is a window for the sponsor, which is RattanIndia Power, to also put in a bid, and we are working on that option.
So what from the Concall is there are 11 bidders, so we are one of them also bidders.
Those are third-party bidders. The process for the sponsor is a different section of IBC, and that is run in parallel to the outside bidding system.
Okay. Sir, do we have access to the Sinnar land also if a plant has gone through the NCLT, or it will be gone away from us also, like phase 2 or the land of more than 1,000 acres in Sinnar also?
Yeah, so all of that land was in the Sinnar company, and that company is in NCLT right now.
Okay. Thanks, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Nishant, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, Rattanji, and I must appreciate you and your entire team for the hard work that you have done so far. I'm associated with RPL since 2010. Just wanted to know about the Mansa Power Limited. Does it comes under RPL, or what sort of plans you have under that?
Yeah, so the land in Mansa is about 800 acres, and it was acquired for a thermal plant. And to your question, whether it falls under RPL, answer is yes. That land is in a subsidiary of RPL. And what we are going to do with the land, we are working with the state government on putting that land to some commercial use, whether that will be industrial area or some agro-processing or what, that we will have to figure out in future. But that land for thermal plant is something we will have to really see whether that can be done or not done. But we are working with the government on that, on what best can be done there. But yes, it's a very valuable piece of land because such a large chunk, especially in North India, in agricultural belt is just difficult to. It's almost next to impossible to acquire in today's world. So I think it will be. There will be a time when it is put to good use and will yield returns to RattanIndia Power.
Thank you so much, Rattanji, and best of luck you and your entire team.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Aditya Sen from Robo Capital. Please go ahead.
Hi, thank you for the opportunity. So can you please throw some more color on this debt part? How much debt went away with STPL and how much as of now do we have on balance sheet? And in going forward, like 2-3 years, where do we see our debt?
So, all of Sinnar debt has gone with Sinnar company. So that is the bottom line. I mean, whatever debt was there on Sinnar, and you know that it was a 1350 megawatt plant, which is similar in size to Amravati. So the principal debt was there. There was about 7,000 crores, plus there was accumulated interest, etc., etc. So all that has gone with Sinnar. So what remains on RattanIndia Power is all debt which is related to Amravati plant itself. And the numbers are there in our financial statements. You can see the numbers there.
All right. And for the upcoming expansions of the phase 2 of Amravati plant, how much capex do we need for it? And when is it expected to commission and all? And what is the IRR that we expect from there?
See, as I said previously, we are looking at renewables as an option. We are looking at expansion of thermal plant as an option, and maybe we do one or both. And if we are going in for thermal plant expansion, then we will start with either one unit of 660 megawatts or 800 megawatts. And at today's prices, so it's, I think could be costing maybe around 7-8 crores a megawatt. So even 800 megawatt project becomes like a 6,000 crore project, in which if you fund 3:1 for debt equity, so we need about 1,500 crores of equity, and rest will be financed through debt. So those are the broad numbers for a 660. You can do the math, and there'll be a smaller number. So those are the broad contours of how a thermal expansion will look like. And yes, we will not do 270 megawatt units, because 270 megawatt units after that, as DHL is also not providing. So the world moved on to supercritical units, which are the smallest unit is 660 megawatts. So that's the broad contour of a thermal expansion. On renewables, of course, one can start with smaller sizes. So that depends on the bids which are coming in and the kind of land parcels, whether available or not available. So various things have to go into that calculation. So these are I'm just laying out the broad scenarios in front of you since you asked, and we will be deciding in the coming months.
Okay, so we don't have any timeline as of now.
No, so the first objective is to, our aim is that all external debts are paid off in the current financial year, because that is necessary to, so that gives us the freedom to pursue the expansion path. So, that is one thing leading to another. In today's, if you ask me, can it happen today? So it cannot happen today because first we have to pay off the external debts, where there is a clear visibility of paying them off in the next few months.
Right. And also you mentioned that we'll be receiving 2,700 crores. I missed that point. Where is it supposed to come from? I couldn't follow that point.
You're talking about regulatory receivables?
Yeah, one was 1,400. That I understood. The other you were talking about 2,700 in 3-4 years in the earlier part of the Concall.
Yeah, so that our total, litigation receivables, litigation around various components of the tariff. So that is about this number, and that keeps coming in bits and pieces, and that is what I'm talking about. So that on Amravati plant is about this number, and that money will be realized over the next 3-4 years.
Okay, all right. And talking about some industry numbers, this PLF shooted from 50% approximately to 80% as of now in a quick span of time. So on a broad basis, we know that this is because of power demand. But suddenly, how did it come? Any color on that?
Sure, PLF number was not 50%, except the COVID year, which was 2021. That's when PLF was low. After that, it has been about 50%. It was in 70s, and last year was higher. So it's not like suddenly that it has gone from A to B, but if you see, 2020 was not too far out. 2020, the calendar year, our PLF was like 5%. So you can imagine, and that was basically because country was mostly in lockdown at that time, and power demand went into all-time lows. So that was only like December 20 was just like 3.5 years ago. So in that sense, like whole of country has gone from those kind of PLFs to high PLFs. But today, when country is like firing on all cylinders, growth is happening in all sectors. People are talking of India coming into top 3 GDPs very soon. So the power is as a parameter in that scheme ranks really, really high, because anything you talk about will need power, whether it is services, whether it is people talk of global excellence centers of multinationals, R&D centers, chip manufacturing, electrification of vehicles. Everything needs power. So this is like the basic provider of that growth. So we still think that the people are only underestimating the kind of demand that we will see on the power side.
Okay. All right, sir. Got my answers. Thanks a lot. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, to ask a question, you may please press star and 1. We have the next question from the line of K.P. Kabra, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Thank you, sir, for taking my question. So my question is for the Sinnar plant. This 1350 megawatt plant is ready, and the lenders were same set of lenders, but we could not negotiate it. Now it's under NCLT. So whether it is gone forever from our hand, or some hope is there that we can get, or we can negotiate with the lenders and can get it.
That is like predicting the future, but yes, we would do whatever it takes to put in our best foot forward. So that's what we will do, and subject to the rules and regulations around the whole NCLT process, it will be seen whether it comes back to RPL or not. But yeah, we will try our best. But at the same time, if you to your comment on the same set of lenders, one lender set was slightly different. It was not exactly same set. Among the big lenders, SBI was there in Amravati, which was not there in Nashik, for example. At the same time, lenders also tried their best. I mean, for actually 6 years, we and lenders did try our best to find a solution outside. So also you will not see an example where lenders have the patience of waiting for 6 years before taking into NCLT. So, it is, I would say that they have shown a lot of patience. I would not say that it was a knee-jerk reaction. So, it is, we, both us and them, we tried really hard, but just that we could not do it was unfortunate that we just could not do a deal outside the NCLT. And of course, some element of comfort is there in the lender group with some individuals that NCLT being a judicial process is always better for them as individuals. So, that feeling obviously is there, which led to this. But it is unfortunate that it happened. But I would like to state that both our side and lender side had actually put in their best effort to solve it outside.
Right, understood. So my second question is, our finance cost for the standalone, it has increased in FY'24 compared to 23. This is in spite of restructuring the June 23 for the lower rate of interest with the Kotak. So, sir, any particular reason for this increase from 533 crore to 567 crore?
There was a big fee part which Kotak had taken for the deal, and it's again it's a norm in the industry that when you do a big deal, you take a large part of cost upfronted as fees. So I think it's coming from that and nothing else.
Right, sir. And sir, one last bookkeeping question. Other expenses in our standalone balance sheet, it is 56 crore.82. There is a consolidated balance sheet, it is lesser by 10 crores. It is 45.83. So how it was possible that in standalone it is more, but in the consolidated other expenses are lesser?
I don't have specific answer to this, but we can always come back to you.
Please, because in the consolidated and standalone is more than consolidated in the Q1 compared to Q1 and in the yearly also, quarter and year both. So please give this.
Yeah, team will note it down and get back to you on this. Yes, sir.
Right. Thank you, sir. That's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Manav Mehta from Axis Securities. Please go ahead.
Congratulations, Rajiv, sir, for the good numbers. Sir, I have a couple of questions. The first question being, sir, if we see year on year, sir, we see that the operating profit margins have been reducing comparatively. So, sir, in future, what do we look ahead as? Do we look as our operating profits would increase, or how do we see as that?
It's a function of the PPA is a function of how the tariff is structured. So it will be similar to the past, but at times some of the escalable components, they go into litigation, which take time to realize. So there is a time lag effect there, which might be one of the reasons why you are seeing this. But essentially, how do we look at this business? The business is to be looked at from two sides. One is that this plant itself, this is a fabulous plant which will run till the time that there is coal in India. PPA runs till 2040, and then after that, also the plant will run until the coal is being burnt in the country. That is one part. Second part is that soon, we'll be in a situation where cash will be coming out and we'll have to start deploying. Now, we talked about two options of deploying that cash. Both of those options will again, increase our EBITDA, whether we do it in thermal or we do it in renewable or we do it in both. So from here on, we are looking at a growth story. So that is how one should look at the company as such. So, I just wanted to draw your attention to both sides.
Okay, sir, got that. So basically, we are looking forward that these rates are dependent on the tariff rates as per PPA, and we don't have much outlook on what the future could hold, but we are obviously looking out for a growth story. Sir, but my second question would be regarding, sir, our operating profits are continuously increasing, sir. But as we see, sir, that the PAT is, profit EBITDA is not increasing so drastically, right? Because of our heavy interest payments. So in this quarter, sir, we see that the interest payment is only of 239 crores, while as in the previous quarters, we see around 700 crores as interest payments, right? So, sir, in future, how do we have an outlook of our interest payments? So do we see that, until when do we have our profit before tax to be negative?
And now profit before tax will not be negative going forward. So, because Amravati by itself, earlier Sinnar was getting consolidated and there were all kinds of issues coming from there. So that is in the past now. And Amravati standalone debt is reducing, so interest costs will keep on reducing, and hence PBT will only increase.
Okay. So, sir, we see that in future we will have Yes, go ahead, sir.
So an important thing to we would like to highlight here is that because of historical losses, so we actually have a tax shield for next few years. So all these profits will not have income tax.
Okay, for that, sir. Okay, sir. That's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Amandeep Sharma from X. Please go ahead. Amandeep Sharma, the line for you has been unmuted. Please proceed with your question. As we're not receiving a response from the current participant, we will move to the next question, which will be from the line of Nishant Sharma from Nuvama PCG. Please go ahead.
Thank you for the opportunity, sir. Just, sorry, I have joined a little late. Just wanted to understand on the exceptional item that we have reported and going forward, how our performance on the bottom line would be faring. While we have seen that the most of the up move was because of the reduction in interest cost, going forward, how do we see our operations move forward? Thank you.
So, earlier there were losses because of Sinnar coming in, so that is a thing of the past, so that will not be happening in future. So you will see consolidated and standalone numbers to converge. And going forward, our interest costs will continue to dip, and the Amravati plant as debt reduces, so our profit will only increase. And we talked about expansion scope where we discussed renewables and thermal. So we will be looking at both the options in coming times. So that will only add to the bottom line.
Okay, sir. And on the exceptional item, sorry, I missed that.
Exceptional item is effect of deconsolidation of Sinnar plant from here. So that is basically coming from there.
Yes. Thanks. I'll fall back in queue, sir.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Hiral Nandu from Kalpavruksha Capital. Please go ahead.
Thanks for taking follow-up question. Just a couple of points for the clarity purpose. When we say we have a tax shield for the past losses, so and for the tax purpose, what would be that amount approximately?
I think it's 2,000-3,000 crores of losses. I mean, we can get back with the exact number, but it's very substantial.
Great. And secondly, when we say the realization and there is an escalation which takes on the next quarters, takes time to get in build. So currently we are billing at what, around 3.8 or something? Realization rate is around 3.8.
Yes.
And can it go to what, 5 or 6 rupees with escalation? Because the current market rate is quite high.
Yeah, no, it can't go to 5 or 6, but yeah, it is inching up every year based on the escalable component.
Okay.
I mean, it can eventually go to beyond 5 or 6, but not like tomorrow, like that kind of.
Certainly. So even that can be one factor for increase in the revenue, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Tushar, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, Rattanji. First of all, congratulations on a great set of numbers. Congrats to you and your team. My first question is about in the auditor's comments, we saw that one subsidiary has a loss of 23.8 CR, possibly at Koina Power. Can you please inform details on this, and also whether it's a one-off loss or it's a recurring loss?
It's a one-time loss. Basically, there was capital work in progress that was written off. This is like whatever had been spent on the land so far. So we were putting it as auditors were putting it as capital work in progress, and then this time around we just clean them up, because our request to auditors was we would just like to clean up everything.
Understand, sir. And what will happen with Koina Power going forward? Is it likely to generate revenues, or will it be, if it's a non-revenue generating subsidiary, will that be shut down?
I had mentioned about the Punjab land, but I can just repeat that. 800 acres in Punjab in agricultural belt, it's very difficult to replicate today. Even we would not be able to acquire that land in anywhere in the country. It's a very important land chunk, and it will be put to commercial use sometime in future. I cannot really put a date, but yes, it is a sizable land. If anybody wants to set up a meaningful project, they will have to come to us. We are working with the state government on various options on what can be done on that land, and all we can say is that yes, at some point in time it will get used commercially, which will result in yield and returns to RattanIndia Power.
Okay. Got it, sir. All this land of all 800 acres is sitting in Koina Power.
The Punjab land is in Koina Power.
Okay, got it. Second question was on merchant sale. We noted that last year the 28 megawatts were sold, and what we've indicated is that this year maybe up to 100 megawatts could be sold. What is the unit rate realization in merchant sales last year in FY'24, and what is your estimate on the rate you will get in FY'25?
So, we started this only recently, only last quarter. So in January it started. So it's not as if we had the whole year of merchanting. And since January, our average sale rate would be about 7 rupees or so. So that is a function of the exchange, the prices which are there for everybody to see. But fundamentally, what I can say is that, the fresh capacities are not getting added. If at all, it will happen only in government sector, and any new project that needs to be set up takes about 5 years' time on a brownfield and takes about 7 years' time on a greenfield. And inland, water allocations are very, very difficult to happen because of the pressure on water of the population for the purposes of usage by other industries or even for domestic uses. So, water usage is huge in power plants inland. On port, they can use seawater, but inland it's a big issue. So, with that backdrop, exchange prices are not likely to come down. This is what we feel.
Got it. Thank you for the clear answer. Last point was on EBITDA. While you clarified that the EBITDA is a function of the PPA, in the last when we look at last 3 years, 2 years EBITDA, last year EBITDA was 1,100 crores. Year before that, it was 1,160 CR. So do you see EBITDA now stabilizing around 1,000 CR per year, or do you think it will go back to 1,100, 1,150 plus?
The EBITDA will be, around 1,000, 1,100 only. From year to year, it might change slightly, but yeah, it will be ballpark in that range only.
Got it. And the last question is on the interest or is on the junior debt. By when do you think all the long-term debt will be completely paid off by the company? By when will the company be free from long-term debt? Because we see total long-term debt at 3,000 odd CR in the balance sheet. So by when will it be all the debt be fully repaid?
So we want to do it as early as possible, but yeah, it is a step at a time, and I think hopefully next year sometime it should happen.
Got it. Thank you very much, and wish you all the best once again. And great set of numbers. We look forward to these numbers being sustained. Thank you very much, Rattanji.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Chinta Ramakrishna, an individual and retail investor. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Good evening, Rajiv sir. Thanks to the entire RattanIndia leadership team for keeping the Amravati running with maximum capacity. Good that we have started these quarterly investor calls, sir. Can we expect this good culture, having these quarterly investor calls, continue in the future also?
Yes, we could do that. Yeah.
Okay. And regarding the Nashik NCLT process, sir, I think the NCLT process has some certain timeline to complete once the process starts. So could you share some information by what date the NCLT started and what will be the cutoff time to complete the process?
You are right that there are timelines around the process, but if you see the practical side of it, because of reasons beyond anybody's control, the processes usually go longer than those timelines, and it could be a year or two that the processes take. So that I'm just speaking from the past cases, and it is going to take a bit of time. In our case, you asked for the start date. I think that start date is around Jan or Feb of 24. So we recently started.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Namit Arora from Ind Growth Capital. Please go ahead.
Yes, thank you for the opportunity. My question was around the organization. The macro opportunity is very large and you're executing to capitalize on the opportunity. If you could give us some color on if you made any recent additions to the management team or anything in the pipeline, Given the scale of the opportunity, do you need to beef up the management? Thank you.
Sorry, I missed that. There was some problem on the line on my side.
No worries. So my question was that the macro opportunity is very large. To capitalize on it, you are executing, but do you need to beef up the management team? Have you added any recent senior hires or anything in the pipeline? Just some color on various functions for the organization, and if you're looking to augment it to capitalize on the macro opportunity. Thank you.
Our team is fully capable of taking on expansion, and at relevant time we will add more to the team. So we are very frugal operators, so we don't like to waste money, and we will hire at the right time if more people are needed. But as of now, for the things that we are doing, our team is fully geared up and capable, and we have a deep management bandwidth.
Got it. Thank you. I had just one more question. Are there any things that you worry about? Anything that you're sort of focused on carefully? In terms of anything in nature of worries or challenges? As founders and senior management, anything that you focused on specifically?
From our side, the worst is behind us. That's all I can say. It has not been easy. It has been very, very challenging time, and to actually resolve Amravati first itself was a big challenge. Thankfully, we were able to do it in the right manner. Unfortunately, Sinnar resolution did not happen in the way that we wanted. But going forward, I think things are brighter and brighter, and basically from our side, all the big issues that we had to solve for, we have already solved. So now we can just look forward and focus on expansion after the debt is paid off.
Got it. Thank you very much for your very detailed and candid answers, and all the best to the entire team. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we will take that as a last question for today. I would now like to hand the conference over to Mr. Simranjeet Singh for closing comments. Over to you, sir.
Thank you all for joining the conference call hosted by Almonds, and you may now disconnect your lines. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. On behalf of Almonds Global Securities Limited, that concludes this conference. Thank you all.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.